Why do movie stars exist? What is their function in the marketplace? And how does Hollywood manufacture stars? In today's video, we're going through the star system, Hollywood's production of popular identities by Paul McDonald, where he breaks down the Hollywood movie star production system as it was developed by major motion picture studios. We'll explore ideas including stars as capital, its roots in American theater, and how stars are used to help sell films. And to make things a bit more interesting, I've hidden 3 numbers in different frames throughout the video. Find these 3 numbers and post them in the comments along with one thing you learned in the video for a chance to win tickets to a live show in a city near you. My name is Charles, and let's dive in. Main idea 1, stars as capital. Stars may be categorized as performance specialists, but their position in the industry is also marked by their hierarchical status. Not all film actors are stars. In the labor pool of actors, stars are the elite. There's a lot of overlap in the working responsibilities of stars and ordinary performers, but also some differences. Ordinary performers will not have to complete the promotional commitments that a star will. However, a star will not have to undergo the humiliation and disappointment of the auditioning process. Stars have become a privileged class within the division of actors' labor. Stars have a place in the film industry as both a category of labor and a form of capital. A star becomes capital because in the commercial film industry, they are considered a form of investment in film productions, as a probable guard against loss. This is because stars can act as a means of product differentiation in a competitive market. The identities or images of stars are of value to the film industry as they appear as individuals. From an economic point of view, stars can be thought of as a monopoly on a personality. Monopolies emerge when there is only one supplier to a market. Star monopolies are based on a belief in unique individuality, i.e., there's only one Jim Carrey. In the days of the old studio system, when an actor was signed with a studio, they would partake in an apprenticeship where new talent would be molded into the image the studio wanted them to play. This would include classes in acting, diction, etiquette, singing, dancing, fashion, boxing, and many other lessons, all necessary to get the actor ready to play the part necessary to sell the studio's films. The work of stars is based on the selling of a distinctive identity. Star images are collections of meanings, read from various star texts. Star work involves the labor of contributing to the creation of some of those texts. In the Hollywood industry, stars are placed in the structure of specialized and hierarchically organized relationships with other categories of labor. Unlike other performers, stars have greater power in the industry because of their dual capacity as labor and capital. The star becomes a form of capital inasmuch as his or her image can be used to create advantage in the market because the image is not the person, but rather a set of texts and meanings that signify the person. Then the image is something separable from the star. Star contracts cover both the labor and the star, but also the product of that labor, the image. Contracts cover the ownership and control of the image, defining who has the right to use the image or parts of the image and in what contexts. The images of stars are therefore legal entities. Main idea 2. How the star system came into formation. It gets its roots in the American touring theater circuit. Professional theater began in America during 1752, when the London manager William Hallam organized a group of 10 actors to come to Williamsburg, Virginia, to perform a repertoire of plays from established playwrights, including William Shakespeare. Since they lacked the prestige of English theater, though, they couldn't attract the best acting talent, and certainly not stars. So they operated under a stock company system. And in the stock company, a group of actors would be employed for a season to to specialize in playing characters cast by familiar lines of business or types of roles. For example, the leading man or lady, the heavy, the soubrette or old woman, etc. Built on the principle of ensemble playing, the stock company system did not privilege the appearance of individual star performers. But as time went on and the theater scene grew, tours of America began to appear more attractive to leading actors from London. In 1810, George Frederick Cook became the first star of the London stage to tour America. Cook's visit started a trend which saw English stars touring theaters to appear for a few performances in leading roles, supported by resident stock company actors. As this model continued to evolve, it eventually gave way to the combination company system, where a group of actors were brought together for a single play instead of a season of plays. Where a stock actor would play the same role across a series of plays, actors in the combination system were employed to perform a specific role in a specific play. To support the economics of the combination company system, managers and booking agents assumed a new importance in the planning of major tours, and star names were marketed to sell tours around the national circuit. The decline of the stock company system and the domination of the combination company system was central to fully instituting the star system in American theater. As cinema matured as an entertainment business in America, due to the volume of production in the film industry, it became a capitalist industry. Financing in a capitalist mode of production requires the supply of money or capital for the purchases of physical resources and labor. Capitalist industry works as a system by combining labor, technology, and capital in ways intended to produce and maximize profits. Producers would market their films through brand names. For example, films were sold as Viograms. Aligning with recognizable brand names helped assure audiences of a level of quality of production, i.e., a Marvel movie today. As information about the identities of the performers became more readily available and promotable to audiences, the performers' names and faces started to be used instead. By May of 1911, the Edison Company had started to provide on-screen credits for its actors. Within 2 years after the first naming of film actors, cinema had discovered many of the basic promotional tools still used to sell stars today. With this became an emphasis on naming. While the discourse on acting reveals the general labor of film performance, the naming of picture personalities makes known individual performers through their on-screen professional existence. Naming enables the construction of the personality's image and identity across films, but also in other media, such as newspapers and magazines. With this, a star's private life becomes further divided between a publicly controlled private image and a hidden, secret private image. A general definition emerges of the star as actor, or a professional manipulator of signs, as picture personality, as a personality extrapolated from films, and as a star, as someone with a private life distinct from screen image. Lex, I just saw your last film. You did a great job. Loved your character. I've got another project that I think you'd be perfect for. What do you say? I don't like to be handed things. I'll take that. You see, Lex is the star, I'm the actor. Ah, okay. Yeah. He's a character I created. Yeah. Okay. But who's that? Don't look at him. Don't look at him. Keep looking at me. Yeah, look at Lex. Although the discourses of actor, personality, and star become levels of knowledge, with each seeming to add a level of depth to the star's image, these levels do not operate separately. but work together as what De Cordova calls collapsing of the levels of identity. The Hollywood industry and stars themselves were quick to exploit the value of star identity as a personal monopoly. Naming is essential to making that identity into a commercial and legal entity, and the star system would develop through the use of such mechanisms to construct star identities and to use those identities as a means of promotion in the public domain. Main idea 3. How stars fit into Hollywood now. Despite changes in ownership, Hollywood is based largely on the package unit production system, wherein the studio era, films could be sold in blocks, with marketing costs spread across several films. However, in the package unit system, films are marketed individually, with P&A, print and advertising, expenditure attached to the single film. Justin Wyatt explains that films have increasingly become the focus for various marketing opportunities. Market research is seen to inform not only the development of a successful film, but also to explore how the film may promote other merchandise, for example, soundtracks, t-shirts, and foodstuffs. Central to recognizing success in all of these fields is the premise, the basic marketable idea that can be exploited in the sale of the film and all ancillary merchandise. Justin Wyatt explains this is partly what's meant by the term high concept, which he describes as a form of narrative which is highly marketable. Projects based on a simple premise which could be marketed to maximum effect. In the era of high concept filmmaking, the premise would be something that could be represented in a straightforward and uncomplicated manner. One solution to this requirement was to use the image of the star as a means of illustrating the premise. Since the 1980s, the term high concept seems to have been replaced by the label event movie. While still describing film as a marketing phenomenon, this latter expression usually draws attention to the work of marketing in making a film more than simply a movie and more of a national and global happening. Films like Con Air, Face Off, G.I. Jane, Armageddon, The Matrix all provided examples where star images and premise appeared closely intertwined to create a marketing event. More modern examples can include Iron Man, John Wick, The Hunger Games, take your pick. Event movies do not characterize the whole or even the majority of contemporary Hollywood production. High concept films may achieve a hybrid mixing of genres, but in many cases, films still appear to fall into singly identifiable generic types. If high concept involves the matching of star and premise, then this idea appears to have a long tradition in the development of particular films as promotional vehicles for stars. The star vehicle combines two methods of product differentiation: the personal monopoly of a star's image and the familiar conventions that establish generic expectations. Richard Dyer defines the star vehicle as such. The vehicle might provide a character of the type associated with the star, a situation, setting, or generic context associated with the star, or opportunities for the star to do his or her thing. More modern examples can include Tom Cruise running, Jackie Chan not wanting to fight, Keanu Reeves upheaving the system with violence, etc. Dyer sees the star vehicle as providing continuities of iconography. Examples like how they are dressed, made up and coiffed, performance mannerisms, the settings with which they are associated, visual style like how they are lit, photographed, placed within the frame, their role in the plot, their function in the films, the film's symbolic patterns. It is the continuities of iconography, style, and structure across the body of a star's films, which leads him to liken star vehicles to genres. While the star vehicle does work to reproduce a set of conventions and so stimulate audience expectations in the same way as generic categories do, Andrew Britton points out that genre is a precondition of the star vehicle. Genres continue to play an important role in defining star identities. setting limits to the context in which a star is used. However, as the parameters of categories themselves are never firmly fixed, so the images of stars can be used flexibly to traverse genres and also to combine a mixture of generic influences. Under the regime of the studio term contract, stars were prevented from forming their own independent production companies. As stars gradually released from the restrictions of the contract system, they explored the creative and economic advantages of running an independent. These star-based independent companies allowed performers to take a broader role in decision-making about business deals. This allowed them to obtain tax advantages through listing income under capital gains rather than personal salaries. Power shifted from studio management to the star. Following the shift to the package unit system of production, stars increased their earning power and became independent producers. Contemporary Hollywood, with great emphasis placed on the marketability of the high concept or event movie. The star provides a key sign in communicating the idea of the film in a public domain. However, the rising and failing fortunes of individual stars at the box office indicates the instability of the star system. While the breakdown of the studio system gave stars new liberties, it is also necessary to recognize that the vertically integrated system had protected stars in various ways. More films were made in the studio era, and so there was a large demand for performer labor. As the volume of production declined from the 1950s, then so did the amount of work available for performers, including stars. In these conditions, working freelance could only benefit the stars, and only the most popular stars at that. In some cases, stars who did not appear at the top of the box office rankings and feared the insecurities of the freelance market sought to retain multiple-year or multiple picture deals with the studios. Signed to a term contract, the star would make many films in a year. With stars making so many films, it was possible for performers' careers to survive a number of box office failures when supported by regular successes as well. This situation contrasts with the package unit system, in which a star's status is only as good as their last couple of movies. In such a system, it is possible to see examples of the rapid rise and fall of stars, only across a few films. What the internet has done to change the star system is decentering the production of stars' discourses. In the earliest years of the star system, producers and studios controlled the distribution of knowledge about stars. With the internet, the authorship of star discourse is opened out to many other sources. And this has exploded with the rise of internet video particularly. Now it is easier than ever for an individual performer to build their star profile as an independent producer. My prediction is that we are headed closer to the direction of stock system of production, but more in a hybrid fashion, where everyone in the production will have some form of star power. Their star power contributed to their particular stock character. So my advised strategy for actors today, based on this knowledge, is to get clear on what stock character you can play. Form a troupe with your friends and create a web series with consistent characters, and then align yourself with local small businesses to get funding, and repeat this process until a larger company wants to hire you for their production, or you decide to build a brand from the series itself. And there you have it. There's a good overview of the star system for you. I recommend buying the book. And did you find the numbers? Did you find the 3 numbers that I hid throughout the video? Again, look for the numbers, comment them below along with one thing you learned for a chance to see a live show of some local or some production, touring production in a city near you. And my name's Charles. We'll see you next time.